Are you feeling brave? Do we want to attempt this today? Hi, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to show you how to build step by step a large spectacular arrangement for the holidays that would cost about $1,000 if you bought it from a florist, but you can do at home. So let's get started. So what we're going to start with is an urn. I've got lots of urns. This is one I bought on Amazon, very inexpensive. So it's plastic, but it looks like, like a stone urn. And I chose it because I like that it's a subtle color and it's frosted sort of. We're going to use a lot of frosted elements. So this is kind of a medium size urn, not super huge, but you can get a pretty large arrangement in here. That's one thing I really want to impart to you is that you don't need a very large container for a pretty large arrangement. A lot of mistakes I see a lot of amateurs make is getting a container that's way too large with what they're doing. Like an urn this size would be ridiculously large for a centerpiece. So this is more for like a buffet table, entrance hall, or somewhere where you want a spectacular arrangement. Now, today I'm also going to show you how to mix faux materials with real fresh materials. We have beautiful flowers today. I've got gorgeous red roses, white roses, hydrangeas, red spray roses, lianthus, some white filler flower, as well as beautiful white dendrobium orchids that we're going to use. In addition to that, we are using an assortment of Christmas greenery as well as some faux materials. So you guys know I love to mix faux with fresh because sometimes you can't get the look you want with real materials or they're out of season. Now, I don't go overboard with the faux materials, but I do use it when I think it's relevant. This is a beautiful frosted red berry spray that I purchased from Hobby Lobby. And you guys know during the holidays, all the Christmas stuff is like 50% off. So I think this was like something $6 and it's a really substantial spray of berries. I like it because it's kind of sugared or frosted. And I'm going to use this as an entire stem. And I'll show you how we're going to do it. Because this spray has many, many stems to it and it kind of goes around in a radial fashion, we're just going to stick it in the very middle of our arrangement so berries come out from all angles of our arrangement without having us to cut it short and then add it in. This way I can keep the length and still have the berries. And then we can always move it around as our arrangement progresses. So I'm just going to stick it in the very middle of the foam securely. Just the whole thing like this. Can't be easier, right? And we're doing very traditional Christmas today, red and white. You guys know I love to do, untraditional colors for fall and Christmas. But today we're going to do very traditional red and white. And then I have 3 sprays of these frosted pine and branch and wood branch. I love this because it's only partially frosted, so it looks very realistic. And we're not going to be able to get real frosted pine, right? Even if you live in a snowy place, it's not going to stay frosted once you take it indoors. So I thought this would be really pretty. I've got 3 stems of this, and we're going to go ahead and set it in here. These are the tall lines of our arrangement. I'm going to kind of go in between the berries. Okay. And then when I first got these branches, they're kind of flat and, not so pretty. And the great thing with faux materials, if they're wired, is you can move them around for a more sinewy, natural line to your branches, and you can place it however you want. I'm going to put this one here. Okay. And then the third one here. And when you buy these, definitely shake it out outside because they will shed glitter and the flocking on there a little bit. So if you don't want to get it all over your kitchen, I just shake it out first before I use it. And so we've set the tall lines of our arrangement already. It's still kind of airy, but it gives you the height. That's another secret to doing large arrangements is sometimes you could set the height with tall branching materials and then the body of it doesn't have to go as high. Then I'm just going to green in the rest of the foam with real
red cedar and pine greenery branches. And you can buy assorted greenery, Christmas greens, and they will last you, a long time. We keep them in the green box, so we can buy a box of assorted greenery like this from the greensman at the flower market, and it comes in a waxed box, and we just keep the whole box in the refrigerator, so you can use it for a lot of your holiday arrangements. I think some of the real pine mixed with the faux pine makes the faux pine less faux. That makes sense? But I just wanted to do something very festive and very Christmassy. And then this is the Western red cedar, which is really pretty because I like how it's kind of feathery. And it is somewhat of a directional material, like it wants to fall to one side all the time. So you might want to trim it a little bit to use it however you see fit. And this just kind of sets the lines. You see how it cascades out of the sides of my container? It balances the height of our arrangement, having this coming out. And a little bit goes a long way with the cedar. And this is kind of stuff you could probably buy at, Trader Joe's or even Costco. I think Costco has garlands. I'm not sure if they have the greenery, but if you're not going to buy a lot of it, you can probably find it at your local grocery store or big box store. And some of you might even have it in your garden. Anything that looks kind of evergreen will do. You don't have to purchase it. I'm always trying to inspire people to use what they see outdoors, because sometimes, I have a lot of neighbors who have big, beautiful gardens, but they seem to think that the flowers in the garden are for the garden, and there's something magical about the flowers at home. But greenery and flowers and materials outside definitely can be brought inside. In fact, a lot of my decision to grow something is whether or not I want to use it as a floral material. So I'm just greening in with the cedar. Okay, I'm going to reserve a little bit of it in case we have any more empty spots at the end of the arrangement, but I think we're mostly done. And then what I have here are some faux frosted cedar branches, and all I did was hot glue some cones on there. I did this because it is really hard to find cones on long wired stems, and it's a real pain to wire cones. So I just thought I'll just hot glue it to a spray like this, then I can add cones right easily, just hot gluing it in. These frosted cedar branches I bought on Amazon, they're okay. A lot comes off, the flocking goes all over the place, but they were very inexpensive. So I'll link in the description below where I got these. And then these are just cones that I bought last year at Trader Joe's. At this time of year, they'll have balsam scented cones. I bought them because I love the smell of evergreen. And they no longer smell, but I have the cones. So I'm going to go ahead and add these in here, kind of at the edge. And notice how I've kind of divided my arrangement in thirds. That's how I usually think of these large arrangements. It makes it so much easier to add things in when you think of it in thirds. So any main thing you add 3 of. Like if you're going to have giant lilies or large white hydrangeas, you add 3. And if you divide the foam up into three areas, it's so much easier and makes it so much more systematic and easy to calculate. Okay, so that's that. This way we have some cones in here, and then a little extra of this frosted greenery around the perimeter looks really nice too. I bought some of this at the flower market. These are eucalyptus pods, but because they're that frosted kind of blue color, I thought this would be very pretty too. I'm going to add this to the perimeter of the arrangement because you'll see how these just kind of an arching habit. So it wants to kind of cascade down the sides, and they're not very long. So it's hard it would be really difficult to use them up high. We're going to use it around the perimeter. I'm going to add in the eucalyptus pods where I did not add in the cones. So keep to our rule of thirds. So it's the alternate thirds that we're using. See, I have it between the 2 cones here. I'm going to go ahead and add this between these 2 cones right here. and the last part here. Now these eucalyptus pods would last just fine out of water. I think you can use this in dry arrangements or artificial arrangements if you want to give it a rustic, kind of more natural look. Okay, so the arrangement as it is, it's almost done, right? I mean, you can actually just do something like this and it will last a long time because most of the flowers in here or the materials in here are artificial, and then you've got some Christmas greens. But of course, we're going to add some fresh flowers. And if you are doing silk flowers, you could do an arrangement like this with silks, definitely. Then you have it for the entire holiday season. You could put it together now and still have it be beautiful throughout Christmas. Then we are going to add hydrangeas. I've got 3 large snowy white hydrangeas here. They're beautiful and they're really nice quality hydrangeas. So I'm going to go ahead and add my hydrangeas here above the eucalyptus pods. Okay, they're almost too big, these hydrangeas. I have actually taken, florets off of hydrangeas if the head's too big. It's kind of a shame, I know, but I have done that. There's different sizes to hydrangea heads, and they're rated differently when you're buying them at the wholesale market. Some of them are the smaller ones, like from Colombia. The heads are smaller and tighter, and some are these really huge snowy ones. Okay. So we added in our 3 hydrangeas for a big pop of white up high, right? And then we're going to go ahead and add in the lianthus. I'm going to add the lianthus first because it's a tall, wispy element. And for a practical reason, lianthus are very prone to breakage. Now, they last a long time, the flowers, but the flower heads, you just touch them and they like fall off sometimes. So they're very crispy. And I know I'm going to use it kind of high up in my arrangement, so I'm going to go ahead and add that in so that once it's in, we don't have to fuss with it. It's going to be the tall vertical up here. I'm going to set it among my pine. And you don't need a lot of stems of this. This is very high quality lianthus. A lot of flowers on one head, and it's very long stemmed and very fresh. Now, years ago, lianthus was a pretty inexpensive material, but now they've gotten to be very expensive at the flower market. They're wonderful for big arrangements because they've got these beautiful shape to them, and they have bud and florets on each stem. And they're just kind of wispy and willowy, and it adds white to the top of our arrangement without adding too much weight. Okay, so I only added 3 stems of lianthus. I'm going to go ahead and put these away. Next, I'm going to add in white roses. I have my favorite pure white rose here called Playa Blanco. So it means white beach. And this is a relatively new rose, been around for maybe 3-4 years. And it is just a nonstop white rose. It is really, really long lasting. I would say it can last almost 2 weeks. And it's pure white. When you buy it, the heads are not very big, but they open beautifully. And they've got a high petal count, which is all stuff I love in a rose, right? So I'm going to pull out some of the outer guard petals. I mean, they're just so pristine. And a lot of white roses have sort of a papery quality to them, so they're not going to be long lasting. This one has nice thick petals, so they're going to last a long time. So I'm going to go ahead and add the white roses in. See, when you have really high quality roses, very large roses like this, you don't need a lot of stems, and it makes designing so much easier. So I rather pay for more expensive large headed roses from Ecuador than fuss with smaller roses and having to add a lot of material in there. when you do flowers professionally, like I've done for 30 years, time is important too. Like if you're doing a lot of large arrangements and centerpieces, you don't want to be fussing with tons of little stems of things, and it doesn't have the drama and impact of a large headed rose, and you're adding a lot of time to it, to making your arrangements, right? You want it to go fast. Okay. Okay, so I've got 3 white roses added in there. And then I have some beautiful red roses. This is one of my favorite new roses for the holidays. It's called Red Panther. It's a beautiful red rose with a little bit of hot pink stripes in it. I love it because from far away, that pink stripe just makes it more luminous. It's another super long-lasting rose that opens up really nicely. I hate the roses that stay really, really tight in a little ball. I like these roses that open nicely yet last a long time. Okay. I'm going to add the red roses kind of where I added the white roses. So this is actually a very simple formulaic arrangement. I'm showing this to you so that, at home you can just kind of follow this recipe and do this yourself. So don't be, intimidated by large arrangements. It's very doable if you have like a recipe and a formula and how to place it all. Okay, our last red rose. So see, so far we've only used 3 stems of lianthus, 3 stems of red roses, and 3 stems of white roses, and 3 hydrangeas. So even though it's a big showy arrangement, most of this is Christmas greenery and some of the faux material. And the faux material you can use year after year, and next year you can reimagine how to use this. You can make maybe a door swag from the berries and frosted pine boughs. Okay, so we're almost done. I have some beautiful bright red spray roses. Love this red spray rose. It is such a beautiful Christmas red. And you know how I love spray roses because each stem gives you so much, yet it doesn't add a lot of weight, right? So I think we need a little red up top. So I'm going to add the spray roses, keep it really long stemmed like this, up top where we have our lianthus for a pop of red up high. Now, often you're not able to get spray roses with this kind of stem length, but I was very lucky to have found these red spray roses with super long stems. You can always improvise. If you can't find such long stem spray roses for the top, then you can use something else, right? Like we could have put the big red roses up top and then use the little red roses lower. So you can always improvise. We're just adding color to it. Okay. So we got the 3 red sprays up top. I think we need a little bit of bright red down, down around the lower part of the arrangement. So I have 3 more stems of the spray roses that I'm going to cut a little shorter and use it around the perimeter of our arrangement. I'm going to stand back and see kind of where we need a little pop of color and just add that in. Okay. I'm kind of adding it sort of where the large hydrangea is, because since we've got a big amount of white there, I figure a little bit of red would be nice. So if you aren't able to find such long stem red spray roses, then you can go ahead and use them around the perimeter instead. And then just use 3 more stems of your longer stemmed regular red roses up top. Because I know if you're buying your spray roses from the grocery store, you're not going to get such long stems usually. Okay, so we're mostly done with this arrangement. I think it's pretty full already. I don't think I need much. I need to fix this lianthus because when we add other stems, it seems to come out that way a little bit too much. There we go. I think we're mostly done. I have an unusual material for Christmas arrangements, but I thought it might be pretty to add some of this airy white Queen Anne's lace in here. It looks like a snowflake to me. That's kind of why I wanted to use it. Kind of looks like a snowflake, right? Just a little bit to make it a little airier. Okay. Okay, let's use a long stem one here. Look at these. This is so beautiful, isn't it? And Queen Anne's lace is another very long-lasting floral material. Another nice thing about doing a large arrangement like this with some faux and long-lasting materials like the Christmas greens is you can always just take the flowers out and refresh it for holiday parties. You know, you can do this and enjoy it, and then for a party, and then you can have it around by refreshing it. Okay. Just looking to see where I can add. So I have 6 stems of the Queen Anne's lace, and the way I'm using it is 3 up high and 3 down low, just like the spray roses. So multiples of 3 makes it easier for you to calculate how much you want to buy, because it's really easy to overbuy for a large arrangement like this because you think, oh my God, it's huge. I'm gonna, need a ton of material, but you actually don't. Okay, just gonna look to see where I would need another Queen Anne's lace. Maybe I'll put that right here. Okay. And then last but not least, and this is optional because it's going to be hard for you doing flowers at home to have access to dendrobium orchids, we're going to add in beautiful white dendrobium orchids. Now they come in water tubes like this. You just take them out, and they're pretty long stemmed and they're pretty long lasting. So I'm going to go ahead and add some of these in. And for it to look more impactful, because we have so much in here already, I'm going to add them 3 stems in one location. Or maybe 2 stems. I'm not sure. Let's see. Maybe do 3 stems. It has more visual weight sometimes when you group them. Okay. There's 3 dendrobium orchids right here. They usually come 10 stems to a bunch, but for some reason, my bunch of dendrobiums only had 9 stems. Kind of strange. But that's okay. I only need 9 because we're going to add them in 3s. In one area. See, if I have these, they're not very giant, the flowers, right? So if I add them like all throughout the arrangement, I think there's less impact. Whereas if you add them in 3s on one area, you can see it more. See how I added 3 of them in one area right here? I'll turn it around so you can see it more. Okay. Let's see, where did I add that? Okay. Okay, one more trio here. So we're all done with this very traditional, very dramatic Christmas arrangement. And it looks like something that would cost, I don't know, $500 to $1,000 from a florist that you can make your home. I just gave you the recipe. So basically we have 6 stems of roses, 3 white and 3 red long stem roses, 3 stems of white lianthus, 6 stems of Queen Anne's lace, 6 stems of long-stemmed red spray roses, 9 stems of dendrobium orchids, which is optional, 3 stems of frosted pine branches, and 1 large radial stem of frosted red berries, and then some Christmas greens. You can wow your guests this holiday season with a spectacular arrangement like this that would be wonderful in an entrance hall, on a buffet table, or even in place of a tree.
This is such a spectacular large arrangement, it could even be freestanding. So if you had a column or something, this could be a freestanding arrangement in your home as well. So you definitely can make a spectacular large arrangement at home. And I just showed you how with kind of a recipe of what we used in this large arrangement. So you can make something that looks like it's $1,000 in your own home, and maybe even just from things you buy at the craft store and at the grocery store. So I hope you learned something today, and I've inspired you to create something spectacular for the holidays. As usual, please like and subscribe. Leave me a comment to tell me how you're decorating this holiday season, and I will see you in my next video.